and I made him watch.
Hello and welcome to And I Made Him Watch, the podcast where I make my husband watch weird movies and we discuss how weird things really got. I'm your host, Dani Page, and here with me forever and always, the salt to my pepper, the filmmaker, Troy Allen. Hiya.
The salt to your pepper?
Yeah, you don't like that?
No, it's just like, I feel like we should break into song and dance, push it.
Yeah,
It should feel good. So, anyways.
I'm just salt and pepper. So, how's it been going? How's life?
Life is good. Life is real good. Yeah.
Yeah, we've been busy this week.
We have.
Yeah.
Well, as of recording this, yes, we've been very busy.
Yeah.
But good things. All good things.
All very, very good things. Lots of adventures.
Yes.
Had. So I made you watch Satan's Triangle from 1975. Here's my pitch. Are you a grandpa? Do you like very slow-paced plots, mansplaining, and sexism? Boy, do I have a movie for you. So an emergency crew go investigate this boat out in Satan's Triangle. Find a lady that may or may not be a demon. Anyways, there's lots of shots of helicopters in this movie. I gave it a 3 out of 10.
Yeah, the helicopters, pretty cool. But I definitely felt like this was a snuff film right off the rip. I was like, what in the hell are you making me watch? Like, what is this? I feel like this is one of those Faces of Death movies. It felt really weird.
Okay, and I'm sorry I did this to you. I really is a boring movie in my opinion. This movie was made only for old grandpas. I feel like we weren't supposed to see this movie. It could be a cult classic in the grandpa scene click type thing, like some secret movie that only old men over the age of 65 type kind of watch.
Yeah, I think it was just the filmmakers knew that the people watching it at the time were going to be grandpas, so they just made it for them
in the future.
Yeah.
They're like great grandpas by now. This is some Sunday afternoon. I'm dozing off in the chair type movie.
Back in my day, we just sailed away in the sunset.
In the movie Devil's Triangle, there was an attempt to explore the mysteries of the Bermuda Triangle, but unfortunately it didn't quite hit the mark. William Reed Woodfield, the writer, tried to blend suspense, supernatural elements, and human drama, but the script ended up feeling more confusing than thrilling. Sutton Rowley, the director, aimed to create a spooky atmosphere, but his efforts often came across as overly dramatic, failing to capture the intended suspense. Kim Novak played the enigmatic survivor, Eva, but her performance sometimes felt melodramatic, making it hard for viewers to connect with her character. And Doug McClure portrayed Lieutenant Hag, the determined Coast Guard officer, but his character lacked depth and purpose in its convoluted plot. Overall, while Devil's Triangle had potential, it utterly fell short of delivery and the captivating tale it promised, leaving much to be desired. It had, I think, a wonderful concept. This concept could have been so incredibly good. The story itself was intriguing enough for me to want to watch it the first time, and I was pretty disappointed in how it was executed.
Yeah, I feel like it could have been better. It could have been brought to the screen in a better way. I liked the idea of something that has been shrouded in this mystery for so long, and that sort of paranormal aspect to it. But yeah, the way that they executed it definitely fell
short. Yeah, definitely. The writer William Reed Woodfield was born January 21st, 1928 in San Francisco. I'm sorry I said that like that.
San Francisco.
He was a man of remarkable talent and creativity whose contributions span across photography and television. As a photographer, he was celebrated for his evocated black and white portraits of American screen actors, capturing the essence of Hollywood's golden era with his camera. Transitioning into television, Woodfield, alongside his partner Alan Balter, became a formidable force in the industry. Their collaboration led to a significant accolades, including a Writers Guild of America Award nomination in 1966 and a Primetime Emmy Award in 1968 for the groundbreaking work on Mission Impossible. That's right, this is the guy that wrote Mission Impossible, the originals.
Yeah, buddy.
This iconic series was transformed under their guidance as they introduced innovative narrative techniques that turned its protagonists into masterful con artists, a creative choice that played a critical role in defending the show's unique appeal and enduring success. Beyond the realm of conventional entertainment, Woodfield's passion for magic found a special place in his heart, leading him to contribute as a magic coordinator on Mission Impossible and to establish a magic magazine called Magicana, furthering showcase his diverse talents. William Woodfield's legacy, marked by his pioneering spirit in photography, television storytelling, and magic, remains a source of inspiration, underscoring his significant impact on the world of entertainment. So, it's not Woodfield's fault that this movie bombed, because he seems super talented.
Yeah, he's definitely got some credence.
Yes, he definitely does.
Film and entertainment industry.
Yes.
But for some reason, when you were explaining the whole like magic magazine and stuff, I picture this dude like over there typing away at his typewriter, typing up some scripts or whatever, and like on his off time, he likes to pull flowers out of a hat.
Yeah, probably. Like, sure. Whatever gets the job done. Whatever gets the job done. Wow.
He's the inspiration for.
Did you really just advocate?
I did. You've heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. I just hit the Avada Kedavra.
Jesus Christ.
On the podcast for the first time. Surely not to be the last.
Our director, Sutton Rowley, was born October 19th, 1922 in Belle Vernon, Pennsylvania. His journey in the industry began in the 1950s, marked by a blend of creativity, precision, and the relentless pursuit of authenticity. Rowley wasn't just a director, though. He also was a producer and writer, leaving his mark on every project he tackled. Among his notable achievements were directing and producing Target in 1958 and crafting a suspenseful drama of Chosen Survivors in 1974. He also made his mark on action-packed series like Airwolf in 1984, showcasing his directorial flair. Rowley's insistence on filming night scenes under real darkness exemplified his commitment to realism. Besides directing and producing, Rowley wrote episodes for various series, showcasing his versatility and storytelling skill. As he stepped away from the industry in the late 1980s, Rowley left behind a legacy of excellence and innovation in television. His name remains a synonym with quality and creativity, inspiring future generations of television creators. So he also has some talent.
I mean, who didn't love Airwolf?
I've never seen Airwolf, I don't think. Have you seen Airwolf?
Yes.
Okay.
Airwolf was definitely one of those, like, late at night sort of like TV land shows when we were growing up, usually came on between like the Andy Griffith Show and I Love Lucy.
Yeah.
So I liked watching Airwolf, but I thought as far as the direction of the film, I thought it was good. I feel like the acting wasn't terrible, but the content that they were acting in was lackluster at best.
I think the story could have been more thought out. I think that's what it is. And it's very, although it's made for TV, like type show, and it's only an hour and 14 minutes, 17 minutes.
Yeah, it's not very.
So
long.
it's not very long. So I think it was the amount of time and how they told the story versus what it could have been. Anyway. Yeah, the wicked Eva is played by Kim Novak, born February 13th, 1933 in Chicago, Illinois. She is a retired American actress and painter. Her career in film and television earned her 2 Golden Globe Awards and a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Novak's journey began in Chicago, where she grew up in a Catholic family of Czech? Czech, just Czech.
Yes, Czech.
Novak's journey began in Chicago, where she grew up in a Catholic family of Czech descent. After some modeling gigs, she was discovered by an agent in Los Angeles and signed with Columbia Pictures, launching her acting career. Novak gained fame with roles in movies like Picnic in 1955, The Man with the Golden Arm in 1955, and Vertigo in 1958. Despite early success, she retired from acting in 1966, later making occasional appearances before permanently retiring after Le Bastron in 1991. She holds several awards, like I mentioned earlier, from 1955 and 1957 of Golden Globe Awards, a BAFTA, and she also, like I said, has a Hollywood Walk of Fame star, to just name a few. There was a few other ones. Today, Novak is remembered not only for her acting, but also for her artistic talents. Her artwork is very impressive and stunning. Her work is very dreamlike. It consists of these waves of color mixed with these soft images of people and animals. Her use of color is vibrant, but she also has a great way of displaying depth, and I really admire it. It reminds me of this book I had as a kid, and I can't remember the name of it. And I even tried to see if she had done some artwork for a book, but I didn't find anything. But the book had very similar like artwork to this, how she does her artwork, and it like unlocked a like childhood memory in my head, honestly. But her artwork is so just very, very nice. It's very cool. It's very unique.
I mean, as far as like her role in the film, I felt like she did what she could with the role, you know. But I don't know. It's like something was off. Like she was coming across kind of cheesy, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But I mean, the whole movie's cheesy.
Yeah,
to be honest.
It is. I agree. Our hero, quote unquote, Lieutenant J. Hag, is portrayed by Doug McClure. Yes, Doug is back. He appeared in the movie Humanoids from the Deep. If you haven't yet, there's a whole episode on the movie Humanoids of the Deep, and it was one of Troy's favorites.
You gotta watch this movie. And I'm so sorry for doing that, but you got to. It's a hallmark in American cinema.
I hate you so All right, let's remind our listeners who Doug is. Born Douglas Osborne McClure on May 11th, 1935 in Glendale, California, was a versatile American actor whose career beautifully spanned 4 decades from 1950s through the 1990s. McClure's journey in the entertainment industry began after his education at UCLA. I said U.S. UCLA, where he quickly established himself as a blonde leading man with an ageless appeal, often playing characters in their 20s well into his late 40s. Among his over 500 television and film appearances, McClure is fondly remembered for his ironic role as Trampas in The Virginian from 1962 to 1971. His performance as the charismatic cowboy with a mysterious past won the hearts of audiences and became a staple of his career. Aside from the Virginian, McClure showcased his versatility in roles such as Kyle Applegate in Out of This World and made notable film appearances in The King's Pirate, Maverick, and Riders in the Storm. Despite battling cancer in his later years, McClure committed to acting never wavered. His personal life was as eventful as his career, with multiple marriages and children. McClure's legacy was cemented in the entertainment world following his death from lung cancer on February 5th, 1995. Buried at Woodland Memorial Cemetery in Santa Monica, California, McClure is especially celebrated for his role as Trampas, leaving a lasting impact on the Western genre and forever riding into the hearts of fans around the world.
R.I.P. Doug.
R.I.P. Doug, you a real one.
I would like to say that Doug, even though his character in this movie was really kind of cheesy, I really like Doug. He is a very versatile actor.
Oh yeah, definitely.
His parts definitely shine, I should say. I'd like to take an opportunity to recognize our director of photography.
Okay.
Because he's actually well versed. You could say so. The director of photography on this film was a man by the name of Leonard J. South, born Leonard James Saserath in Long Island, New York. So he served in the Navy in World War II. When he came back, he was offered a job at the Warner Brothers camera department as an assistant cameraman.
Mm-hmm.
He worked with another cinematographer by the name of Bobby Burks, who was a member of the American Society of Cinematography. And then during his stint as a camera assistant with Mr. Burks, the two worked frequently with the great Mr. Alfred Hitchcock.
Oh, okay.
Who actually took a liking to Lenny. Lenny had a natural talent and personality that Hitchcock appreciated. On Hitchcock's next picture, Bobby Burks brought Lenny on as the camera operator, and from then on, the pact was made. Lenny worked on 14 films with Alfred Hitchcock until Hitchcock's death in 1980.
Wow.
After Lenny became a DP, he photographed a number of films as well as TV shows with other directors, yet he and Alfred Hitchcock continued their lifelong relationship. In 1976, he photographed Family Plot with Hitchcock and was nominated that year for an Academy Award. Oh. So they maintained their lifelong friendship and understanding of the principles of filmmaking, and then Lenny died January 6, 2006.
Oh, well, thanks for that. That's really good information. That's cool.
But, that just goes to show, like, this one little piece of cinema does not show a person's entire...
Definitely not.
Repertoire. So, but, yeah, I thought that was interesting.
Yeah. So the movie was a low-budget, made-for-TV type deal, originally being the movie of the week on ABC. I couldn't find numbers for this. I couldn't find, like, an actual budget or, like, if it made any money or anything like that, because it's ABC. They're not going to release, it's not like a blockbuster or anything like that.
Well, to be fair, it had that very, like, made-for-TV.
Oh, yeah. It did. It did. The helicopters shown in the film are Sikorsky HH-552A Sea Guards, whatever that means.
That's Sikorsky.
Sikorsky. They filmed in the Channel Islands in Miami, which are various islands or islets that are part of the city's geography, particularly in the Biscayne Bay. These include the Venetian Islands. God, I'm so dyslexic. Venetian Island, Star Island, Palm Island, Hibiscus Island, and the Fisher Island, among others. These islands are known for their luxury residential areas, beautiful waterfront properties, and exclusive communities. They are connected to mainland Miami and Miami Beach by bridges, making them accessible yet secluded and private, contributing to their appeal among celebrities, affluent individuals, and those seeking high-end living in Miami.
Yeah, I mean, obviously they're not going to film in the middle of the Atlantic. for a made-for-TV film. Some of the shots definitely felt like it was filmed in someone's backyard. Very, very low budget.
Oh yeah,
I would say, but yeah. Okay.
The movie begins with a shot of the open sea. We hear the narrator with a message. Within the last 30 years, just off the east coast of the United States, more than 1,000 men, women, and children have vanished from the face of the earth. No one knows how or why. This is one explanation. Super creepy.
Yeah, also super cheesy.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
For some reason, I don't know if you noticed, but that shot, it starts off and we're looking out over the horizon, but the frame is tilted. It's almost like, you know what a Dutch angle is?
Kind of. You've mentioned it before.
Yeah. So a Dutch angle is basically when the frame is tilted and your action lines are kind of running diagonally across the frame. And that's to give that sense of like disorientation, like something's off, you know?
Yeah.
Which would make sense in the concept of the film, you know, but I don't know. To me, because the frame was so shaky and the Dutch angle, and then the text or whatever, it just felt weird to me. So I don't know. Maybe that's just a me thing.
No, I think it's meant to make you feel like you're at sea and kind of like uneasy with the flow and the waves and stuff.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, I could see that.
Just to like put you in that kind of vibe, I guess.
Right.
As the opening credits start, we see a storm beginning out at sea in a boat. We watch as the Coast Guard begins to respond to an SOS message. We see the people on the boat being tossed around by the storm while the Coast Guard tries to get their shit together. As Rescue Unit 136 heads out to the Mayday, Lieutenant Hag pulls the coordinates and says it's the Devil's Triangle, dead center. We also would like to mention that Lieutenant Hag was late for the chopper because apparently he was hitting on women or something. It's implied. So super spooky, Devil's Triangle. There's also lots of helicopter shots. Lieutenant Hag and his partner Lieutenant Pagnolini,
yeah.
get into it a little as they're on the way to rescue because Hag had Pagnolini lowered the chopper so he could get a better view of a sunbather with their top off.
Yes, I would say that is definitely behavior unbecoming of an officer in the United
on the
States.
Way to an SOS, to a Mayday.
Yes. So at the very beginning, that opening shot, that's when I started feeling like this is a snuff film. Like I'm gonna see some dead bodies, which was not the case.
No, it wasn't.
I found it so funny that like Pagnolini had gone through the entire like startup procedures and everything, and was just sitting there in the airfield with the engines running, the rotors spinning.
Yeah.
And Tower's like, "Okay, you clear for takeoff?"
Yeah.
And he's like, "Can't really do that because the co-pilot's all fucking
He doesn't even
around."
say anything either.
He doesn't. Yeah, he just sits there in silence. And Tower's just like, "The fuck, dude." But anyways.
So there's more heli shots, and then there's more heli shots. Oh, and there's more helicopter shots. Just
yeah, Top Gun ain't got shit on this, dude. Like
there's so many shots of helicopters. Literally like a long, at least like 3 minutes worth of helicopter shots right here.
Yeah. But I do have to give them credit though, because we see a lot of shots, like exterior shots from, long shots of the helicopters flying, but then it's infused with like medium shots of them in the helicopter, and it's typically like either inside the helicopter with them or through like the windscreen of them, which is really good because obviously all those shots were done on the ground or probably like a soundstage or something like that, but it really it breaks it up. It does a good job of breaking it up. So
I just think they spent a ton of the budget on the helicopter and wanted to make sure they let everyone know there was a fucking helicopter in this movie.
Either that or they spent a ton of the budget on drugs. I mean, it was
you say that. You always say that.
And it's most likely always true.
After a while of heading out to sea, Rescue Unit 137 says their shit's fucked and they have to head back to base, leaving only Unit 136 to go out to the Mayday. As they pass the lighthouse, Hag asks Pinocchio. His name's Pinocchio. No, Pagnolini sees the two keepers, because apparently Hag continues to talk about how the keepers both vanished without a trace off the island. So
yeah,
shit's been going on. Like some weird shit's been going on.
I love how they're always like, yeah, man, it's the Devil's Triangle, man. You know, which is it's
Satan's Triangle. They say Devil's Triangle too. I think, don't they?
I don't think they ever said Satan's Triangle.
I think it's always been Devil's Triangle. You're right.
Yeah, but I'm just like, so it's the Bermuda Triangle.
Yeah.
They just never say the Bermuda Triangle.
I don't think they do.
Like, are they afraid of getting sued or something?
I don't think that's copyrighted.
I don't think so either. But I love how, like, 137's like, yeah, the temperature gauge, the bottoms fell out of my temperature gauge. I got an RTB, you know, and then 136 is just like, I don't know, man. It's pretty fucking...
Yeah, everything was good here. We're fine, yeah. They find the boat, which appears to be abandoned, but they can see several dead bodies on top deck. They try to radio into Miami, but aren't able to receive a response. Hag then decides to go aboard and check out what's going on. He approaches the body and lets Pagnolini know that the bodies they saw were dead and the one hanging is a priest. Hag goes into the cabin and starts to investigate, and he finds everything pretty much empty. He goes into the storage in the back of the boat, and he radios Pagnolini in shock and describes that he has found a man floating in air and that he's dead.
So initially, when they're approaching the vessel, they see a flare. And even Pagnolini is like, oh, look, it's a fucking flare, you know? And then they get to the boat and, like, everybody's dead. Mm-hmm. And it's just like, okay, well, who fired the fucking flare?
They don't even mention the flare.
They don't mention it. And then when Haig first walks into, I guess you would call it the bridge of the boat, where the wheelhouse or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I don't fucking.
We're not seafaring people.
No, we're not.
I see all these like bottles of liquor and shit fall off the counter or whatever, and I'm like, that's why they're all dead, because they've been in there drinking the devil's sauce. That's what it is. Just also the helicopter was looking hella shaky.
Oh yeah.
Some of those shots, which they mentioned later on, but at the time I was like, oof, he about to crash.
Yeah, it doesn't look fun. It looks pretty dangerous. So Lieutenant Haig gets close to the body to examine it and discovers a woman, and the shot of her eyes was pretty magical. It was really good. Yeah, not gonna lie, it just, I don't know, it gets you. You know what I mean? Well, the thing is I don't know, I don't quite remember, but I think it was like both her eyes are kind of bordered by shadows, but it gives that sense of mystery, because, like, you know, like when you see superheroes and they always have that mask on and it's just covering their eyes, it's almost like the reverse of that. Yeah. You know, so you can't actually see who it is. It was a good shot, though. It was really a good shot. It was very intense and dramatic. Yeah. He then escorts her out of the storage and to the top deck, and they get into the rescue basket that Pagnolini has lowered for him, and they're being lifted up back to the heli, and it seems like they're going to get out of there. And then the metal wire breaks and tosses Haig and the woman into the ocean, forcing them back onto the boat. Haig's walkie-talkie has shorted out, and now he and Pagnolini can't speak, so he has to use the boat's radio. And Pagnolini's having some trouble with the heli, and the weather is getting worse. So he is forced to go back to the base, leaving Haig and the woman alone on the boat.
Yeah, you really shouldn't be leaving that man alone with a woman.
Yeah, he already is. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's like, aren't those cables like regularly inspected?
Probably, or at least they should be.
Yeah. If any of our listeners have ever been in the Coast Guard, like, just let us know.
Yeah, let's recently you
yeah, because that's kind of odd.
Is QA checking them cables?
Yeah.
Come on.
I mean, come on now.
The first thing out of this woman's mouth is, we're going to die on this boat, just like the others. So reassuring.
Way to have a positive outlook.
Oh, yeah. It's a great way to introduce yourself to someone who just saved your life. Haig brushes her off. Brushes off her comment and asks her to make some coffee while he finds some dry clothes.
Yeah.
He manages to change his clothes, and he and Eva sit down and get ready to ride it out until more help comes. They aren't drinking coffee, by the way. No, Eva went straight to the whiskey, it looks like. Haig and Eva have some tension between the two of them, and it's like a little dangerous, lustful type energy going on in the boat right now. And Haig tries to seduce her into telling him what happened. It's kind of weird. And she starts off telling him that they were on a fishing trip, and she explains how her, quote, friend is fishing for a 180-pound marlin, and it had to be done this way or the way his brother did it, or so. It's like some sibling rivalry.
Yeah.
Shit. And it's not really important to the story, honestly.
No, I love how, so Eva, she's, unnecessarily creepy, this whole fucking time.
I think they were trying to make her more, mysterious and kind of, lustful and stuff, but it came off creepy.
Yeah, and it's really just foreshadowing, really.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, what happens, but yeah, everyone around you is dead, and that seemingly doesn't bother you at all. You're just we're gonna die anyways.
Yeah.
And then it was at this point when I finally realized that the actor playing Haig was Doug McClure.
Yeah.
Always from the Deep. And then, so pretty wild, I would say.
What is important to the story is that Hal's trying to reel a big one in. This is all through flashback, by the way. And as he's catching this fish, and this might be the fish that he's been wanting, which is so fucking important.
It's the big one.
The crew spot a man drifting at sea. It's the priest that Hag saw hanging when they arrived back in the future or whatever. The captain has a fight with Hal because he wants to rescue the priest, and Hal really wants his fucking fish. It's some really rich man attitude shit going on, really. Hal threatens the captain not to pay the crew if he doesn't get his fish. But one of the crewmen cuts the fishing line, and they go and save the priest.
So, when they first cut to the flashback shot and we first see that marlin jumping out of the water and stuff, there was voiceover from the old man doing the fishing, and he was making these what you would call effort sounds,
Yeah.
It's sounds, but the camera is showing the marlin at the time jumping out of the water, so this whole time I'm like, damn, that marlin is having a hell of a time jumping, just flopping up out of the damn water and shit. I was dying. And furthermore, I'd like to point out that the shots of the marlin was purely archival footage.
Yes, it was.
Which makes sense. It's a lot easier to just show archive footage than filming a real marlin. So.
Oh yeah.
But then all these long shots of the priest floating in the water, and they're just all shaky as shit. I felt like they were filming on an actual boat.
Yeah, that seems possible.
You know, and then that old man, Hal, just like, man, fuck them dudes. I gotta catch this fish.
Right.
You know, who gives a shit about a priest floating in the damn water? You see that every day. You know, I mean, fuck that man.
Hal was a horrible person.
Hal got what was coming to him.
Yep. So as soon as the priest, Father Peter Martin, is on the board, shit gets hella weird. The weather suddenly changes from a clear day to an overcast and foggy. The crew freak out and abandon the boat. Like, everyone is fleeing but the white people, pretty much.
I mean, they were doing like comical, stereotypical white people shit. But I would like to point out that the quote unquote weather they were experiencing, I think, coming from a practical cinematographical standpoint, all they did was smeared Vaseline on the lens.
Yeah, it was really hard to watch.
Yeah.
It was almost like not...
You couldn't make out any detail. Yeah. And it was, like, I get it. It's supposed to have that effect of
it's supposed to be foggy. It was too much.
Yeah.
It wasn't clear. It wasn't like... there was no sharpness to the bodies or the fog.
And they would have had...
There was no separation.
Right. They would have had such a better shot had they just used, like, either, like, haze or, you know, smoke machines. You know, there's so many other better ways of creating weather than just smearing fucking Vaseline on the damn lens. Like, come on, man.
It was pretty bad. It was pretty hard to watch.
Yeah.
The priest goes on to tell the others how he ended up floating around the ocean. Apparently, the priest was accompanying this dying child and his parents, whose village raised enough money to get him transferred to another hospital. It's a real sob story, honestly. The plane they were on crashed, killing the pilot, the kid, and his parents instantly, leaving the priest alive. The priest then spreads the fear of Devil's Triangle, and Hal isn't falling for it. Hal is still trying to get that fish that he wants so bad, while the captain discovers that the boat won't start. All while this is going on, they're still having strange weather and lightning, and down below, Eva and the priest are having a little heart-to-heart about the history of the Devil's Triangle, and it's just the whole myth about the Bermuda Triangle. That's all it is. Nothing really new. Missing people, missing planes, missing boats, yada yada.
Yeah, I mean, everyone knows that whenever you go into the Bermuda Triangle, you go missing for at least a short stint. I mean, you'll come back. Most likely, but you know, it's going to be a couple years. You're just going to be gone.
It's like time travel.
Yeah.
It's a wormhole. I'm convinced.
And then also these, every time they have one of those lightning flashes or whatever.
Negative. Like, oh God.
I kind of like it. So
you like it?
I think it's clever because what they do is there's like a flash of light and then they'll cut to a negative.
Yeah, the film negative.
With no color for a few frames, and then they'll cut back to color. But I think it does a really good job of showcasing, you know, the lightning. Did you ever have like Windows Media or Video Maker or whatever on like a PC? Probably. Yeah. Yeah. Did you ever like get on there just to like mess around with it and find like a transition you really liked or like some sort of special effect that totally wasn't needed, but you liked it anyway, so you constantly used it? That's what this was. They didn't need it. Well, to be perfectly honest, I wasn't a huge like film nerd when I was a kid. Okay, well, that was back in, you know, the 90s and stuff when, you know, the PlayStation and stuff, it started coming out, and the Xbox, and I was all about them video games. Yeah, I didn't have that. I had a little PC. Yeah. And I just... look how the turntables. Turns tables. Yep. Hal finally gets his fucking fish. Yay. Eva tells Hag that it took Hal, the captain, and the priest an hour to get the marlin down below and secured. Hal stays below to admire his catch, and everyone else goes up top, and a storm begins again. What follows is a series of unfortunate events. The priest is put at the helm
the helm of the boat as the captain and what's left of his crew try to secure the boat. A wave knocks the boat, which causes Strickland, the captain, to fly backwards and through the hatch, killing him. Eva explains that another crew member vanishes right before her eyes, and then the priest then tries to get Eva back inside, and Hal is trapped down below. Hal is tossed backwards into the storage and is impaled on the marlin, causing him to appear as if his body is floating. All who are left now are Eva and the priest.
It was these shots during the storm that I said looked like they had been shot in someone's backyard. And then I also said that they could have been like America's Funniest Home Videos material. Like, imagine Bob Saget introducing like Strickland flying up through the damn hatch and stuff. Like,
He died.
That's unfortunate.
That's
but
unfortunate,
still,
but it's funny.
It's funny. You know, I mean, sorry, dude.
Sorry, dude.
About that.
Eva reveals to Father Martin that she's a prostitute, and that's why she was with Hal. Martin is pretty chill with this and is like, so was Mary Magdalene, and the Lord loved her and he loves you. Eve responds by trying to seduce him, but Martin is all like, holier than thou, and just places a cross necklace around her neck. Father Martin claims that he hears the rescue coming, and he climbs up one of the cells and he fires a flare. That's where the flare came from, and then falls down the cell and hangs himself. So,
I just think it's so hilarious, because I think his name is Martin.
Martin.
Whatever, same thing. But when Eva comes out and is like, yeah, I was a prostitute, and he's just like, that's cool.
Yeah,
that's fine.
Get that money, get that bag, girl.
Yeah, whatever. And then when he falls off the mast after shooting the flare, the rope is wrapped around his foot, his ankle, and that somehow snaps his neck.
Yeah, somehow.
So you heard it here.
It's grandpa math.
Yeah, so
it's grandpa math.
Try not to get hung up on any ropes around your ankles.
Yeah,
you'll break your neck.
It's grandpa math.
Okay, well, Yeah.
Haig just reassures Eva that they'll get rescued. Eva's still pretty paranoid about this and is convinced that they're going to die there. Haig takes her up on deck and mansplains everything that happened to Eva. Literally just goes over everything she just said, everything. How Father Martin died, how the Captain Strickland died, then the crew, and you get the idea.
To me, it was like a father, explaining to his kids every bump in the night, like everything that scares them. Mm-hmm. It's like, no, there's no monster in your closet. It's just your sweater hanging in here.
Mm-hmm.
That was Haig's commentary of the whole fucking thing. And
that's it.
Like, it was so cringy.
It was so cringy.
And like he kept making her go back out on the deck with everybody's dead. Everybody you knew is
re-traumatizing her.
We're gonna do this again. It's like fucking.
You're just traumatizing the. Oh my god!
At that point, I would have just thrown his ass overboard. Like, fuck it.
So for the rest of the evening, Haig drinks and gets comfy with Eva as they wait for rescue. She claims that she doesn't believe in the devil anymore. Haig then talks about his relationship with Pagnolini and how he's never stopped believing that he's such a good guy. So then Haig and Eva do the mommy and daddy dance, and Haig removes the cross necklace also, and it disappears. The next morning, Pagnolini and the whole crew come back to the boat to rescue Haig and Eva. Like, they got the heli out there, a whole ass ship and crew. Haig and Pagnolini are reunited, and Haig and Eva get on the heli, and they begin their way back to Miami. Meanwhile, there's a team back on the ship doing the whole crime scene investigation thing. Back on the heli, Pagnolini tells Eva to put on the safety gear, and she's like, I don't need it. And Eva just gets very intense now, and I wonder why. The captain radios Haig as they're flying away from the boat, and the captain, who's back on the boat doing the crime scene stuff, tells him that they found a woman, and it's revealed that the priest that Haig saw hanging upside down was actually Eva. Back on the heli, Eva reveals herself to be Father Martin.
Martini.
Yeah, Martini. Father Martini says that Haig has lost his battle and pushes him from the helicopter. Pagnolini is left alone with the possessed Father Martin, and Martin offers Pagnolini a deal to save him from crashing the helicopter. Pagnolini then allows the helicopter to crash rather give in to the devil.
Yeah, so going back to Eva and Haig on the boat the night prior, you know, I get it. You know, all those dead bodies everywhere, very romantic.
Oh, yeah, super. It's fucking gross, man.
This whole movie is like an hour-long episode of the fucking Twilight Zone. Like, I'm expecting fucking William Shatner to pop up somewhere. You know, there's something on the wing. Something. No. I thought it was funny. Anyways.
You tried. It's okay. It's fine. I'm sure someone will find it entertaining. Yeah.
Okay. Well.
As the movie comes to an end, we see the body of Father Martin floating alongside Hag's body. Somehow they've ended up in the same area somehow. And they're in the ocean, and a ship is coming into view. The devil then switches body with Hag and starts waving at the ship. Now that that's over with, we both know this movie wasn't great. But it had some very interesting moments, and how they told the story was very well delivered. But it just lacks something to become a favorite of mine. Maybe it's the minutes upon minutes of just action shots of helicopters, or it could be the sexism or the mansplaining, and it just doesn't do it for me. Also, it got super Christian-y at the end. Like, it got super, like...
Yeah. But to be fair... the ending, I felt like the ending was the best part of the film.
Yeah.
Because when...
You're not really expecting that type of ending.
No. When Haig and Eva make it off the boat, I was never expecting her to be the priest in disguise. Well, we keep saying the priest, but he is the devil.
Yeah, the devil.
He's supposed to be Satan.
Or whatever.
And, you know, and then the whole time that... After, you know, he scares Haig and Haig falls out, he's trying to get Pagnolini to sell him his soul.
Yeah.
Essentially.
It was pretty intense up there, man.
I mean, he was telling this dude, like, if you don't sell me your soul, I will become you. You can either give me your soul or I'll just take your body and I will become you. And then your wife and your kids will love me the same way they love you.
Yeah.
And I was just like, bro, that is some cold ass shit.
That's some good writing.
Say to somebody.
That's some amazing fucking writing.
Yeah. And like, I don't know, like I like that it ended on a high note, but the rest of the film was just dull and like you said, very, you know, very mansplaining and stuff, and like it didn't vibe with me. And it being, you know, the mid 70s and stuff, I get that some of the shots aren't, you know, to today's standards,
right? You
know, but I don't know what it was, because I felt like the directing was there, like the direction, the cinematography was decent. The writing.
Is it the quality of the film? You think is the quality of the sets in the film and how they like did that type of stuff? It could be that.
I mean, it might have been, because like when it comes to like B movies, everybody thinks of B movies as the typical like Roger Corman sort of like I don't know, not quite Night of the Living Dead, but like some sort of
it's
like
campy and ridiculously like gory,
right? And they're supposed to be over the top, you know.
I don't know if I would say this is a B movie.
No,
I think
really.
This is just
it's just a made for TV film.
Yeah,
that just kind of didn't really get a whole lot of attention.
I think if they did a remake nowadays and they made it creepy as fuck, it would be so good.
Yeah.
Because you have this very unique type of situation where you're out at sea with this thing and these dead bodies and you're trapped there.
Yeah.
And I think if they like played on that more than like the mansplaining and the force like sexiness that was trying to give, it would have been a hell of a movie.
And to add like another piece of context, like on Amazon, this film is rated PG-13.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't consider it to be a horror film by any stretch of the imagination. It's not scary. There's a bit of suspense.
Yeah.
But, that suspense is just kind of overshadowed by the lackluster, whole vibe of the film.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah. But it's over now.
It is over. It is over.
What would you give this one?
Ooh. I don't know. I gave The Dead Pit a 1 out of 10.
Something like that.
This would probably get like a...
I gave it a 3. I'm still sticking with a 3.
Yeah, I feel like I'm right there with you, a 3 out of 10.
Yeah.
It's not great. And it's not a film where I would bury it somewhere in a landfill or something. But yeah, it definitely could have come out a lot better. But yeah.
Thanks for listening.
Yeah, thank you all for listening to this episode.
Yep.
I hope you guys enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it, and I enjoyed talking about this one, even though I hate the movie.
Yeah.
The movie's horrible.
I don't know what I was expecting.
I know. And that's good. That's what I want every time. But yeah, thanks for listening.
Yeah, thank you all for listening to And I Made Him Watch, hosted by Dani Page and yours truly, Troy Allen. So as always, stay spooky, and we'll catch you on the next one.
You're not going to tell them to... You can check out all of our socials, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok.
I mean, you can, yeah.
Yeah.
You can always do that. Any time of the day.
Yes.
7 days a week.
Okay.
All
right, bye.
Bye. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to smash that follow button. Thank you for joining us on this thrilling journey. I'm Troy Allen, and alongside Dani Page, we guide you through the mysteries of B-horror, one scare at a time. Special thanks to Dani for her meticulous research, and to me for handling the production. Our spine-chilling soundtrack, made available by Epidemic Sound, was crafted by Tori Wolf. We couldn't do it without our loyal listeners by our side. Stay spooky, stay safe, and get ready for next week's special episode. As a tradition, every 10th episode is extra special because I get to pick the movie. So don't forget to keep those popcorn bowls ready, because this time, we're taking you on an adventure into the wild and wacky world of killer clowns from outer space. Until then, remember, keep your eyes peeled, your mind sharp, and don't forget to check for monsters under your bed.